and a fair chance to get your questions answered. All right. If you're just joining us for the first time, okay, that's not the right one. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome to eMigr8. If you have been here for a few more times, all right, we are happy to have you back. I hope you are progressing nicely on your journey. If you have questions with regards to that, please share with us on the chat, right? And we can answer as many questions as time will permit us. All right, welcome. This is eMigr8. And this session promises to be informative. We already have our coach in the house for this session. All right, so use the chat. We'd like to know who is in the room. Please share with us. Are you a product manager in the business side of tech, or are you in tech, as we like to call it? So developers, back end, are you in AI, cloud? We want to know who we're talking to, and also tell us your geography. So for example, my name is Moody. I'm a product manager, right? And I'm joining from, where am I joining from now? Somewhere on planet Earth. So use that frame, use that template to introduce yourself. Tell us where you're joining from. We'd like to know if you're joining from Egypt, if you're joining from Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya. We want to know who's in the room. If you're joining from the UK or from Canada, we want to know who's in the room so that we know who we're speaking to. Right. And also use the chat room to connect. So if you want to meet somebody, use the chat room to connect. It's a community. We're trying to build solid network that transcend even migration, because we want to be able to do business together. We want to be able to build companies together, build startups together. So you can share your LinkedIn profile link if you want to connect with people you want people to connect with you. That is why we are here, to help you navigate and also build network horizontally and vertically as it concerns your goals, your vision, and if you like, your product. All right. eMigr8, who are we? What do we do? And why are we here? We're a tech-enabled pathway to relocation and settlement. And that's what we do. It's a platform that enables you relocate and settle in a new climate, in a new geography. We assist in helping you move your talent, your skill set, and your product to any market of your choice, right? We have partnership with several markets, and we have information that you can use if you're trying to move to, for example, to the UK, which we'll be talking about today, or you're trying to move to Canada, Australia, or any of the tech any of the country that allows tech nomads to come into their ecosystem, right? So today we'll be talking about my UK global talent visa journey, and we have coach Coach Wesley Island in the building already, and he will be taking us shortly. But before we proceed, let me do a bit of housekeeping and give you information that you can use on your pathway to becoming globally attractive. At eMigr8, we focus on tech-enabled visa opportunities. All right. If you are not in tech, you are welcome. We hope we'll convert you to join the tech community. But if you are looking for opportunities outside of tech and you're not in tech, this information is also good. You can use it or pass it on to someone in your ecosystem, right? But we are focused on tech, right? We are focused on tech-enabled visa opportunity. We have loads of resource on YouTube, on our pages, on our social media page, on our website that you can leverage, right? If you're planning to move to any country of your choice. So we've done move to the US, move to the UK, move to Canada, move to Australia, move to Hong Kong, right? So we've done a bit of work and a bit of resource out there that you can use. Just go on Google with a simple Google check, with a simple Google search, you will find our resort eMigr8. And we also have our app ready now. So if you go on our app on Apple Store or Android Store, you'll find information eMigr8. Just type eMigr8 on Apple Store or Android Store. You will find our resource that you can leverage, that you can use. Various tech-enabled visa opportunity has been discussed. And in case you are on that path at the moment, this information will be useful for you. We're talking about my UK global talent visa journey today. Hang in there, we'll get to the coach real soon. But before then, we have an existing um, campaign, and this has been running for quite a bit now, right? Called Settle in the UK as a Tech Talent. It's our existing campaign running. So if you are a tech talent, you're looking forward to moving to the UK, this package speaks to you directly, right? It's available to beginners, it's available to experts. So if you are a C-suite leader or if you are a tech enthusiast, this is cut across whatever level you are. It allows you to move with your spouse and your dependent. It also provides you opportunity if you're already in the UK, you want to switch to a more stable visa pathway or settlement pathway. It gives you that flexibility. You know, we'll be able to work with you if you are in that journey. We say give us 3 to 6 month timeline, all right, to be able to move you from any location that you are right now to the UK, right? This is ongoing. If you're interested, please send a text message or chat to the numbers on the screen, or just go to emigrate with an 8, visa.com, and there's a short form there. Fill it. We just would like to know who you are, where you are currently on your journey, so that we know how to connect with you. Right. So it's ongoing at the moment. There are a lot of opportunities and there are a lot of flexibility with the program, but we would like to know who you are and where you're headed. All right. We have other editions lined up, as you know. Move to the UK, settle in the UK. We have sessions coming up on UK Technician. We have sessions coming up on the US route and Canada startup visa. So pay attention. We usually communicate through our handles on social medias and our community who is coming up next and what we're going to be talking about. All right. So emigrates. Again, like I said, we're a tech-enabled pathway through relocation and settlement. We're incubated by a company called Income Development Center. Right. What is our promise of value, or what are we all about? We help you become globally attractive. The reason countries will open their doors to you to migrate to their economy is because you are attractive to them. They find your skill set attractive, they find your ideas attractive, they find your product attractive. And here at eMigr8, where our job and our goal is to make you globally attractive. So we do that by appraising your tech profile or appraising your tech business, right? We help you put your best foot forward. And once you have that sorted, the visa is only a side effect of that objective. If you're globally attractive, everybody will give you a visa. I can't imagine anybody denying Elon Musk a visa today. I can't imagine anybody denying Bill Gates a visa, not because they are wealthy, but because they are globally attractive, right? So you want to be in that category, you want to be in that 1% of people that can move across the globe because they are globally attractive. That is why we do what we do. And the visa is only a side effect, or low-hanging fruit, if you like. Of being globally attractive, right? So we have a platform and we have services that we cover on our platform, all right? So we have general inquiry session and we have information section like this one, our open day, where we share knowledge, we share information that you can use, and it's free. What we do here is largely 85% free, right? We have coaching session, hand-holding session that are free. We help you come up with self-directed roadmap to qualify you for any tech-enabled visa that you are interested in. All right, we have also roadmap, to make you becoming globally attractive. Right. Speaking about that, I'm going to be sharing a bit of our partners and what they do shortly. I will also help review the Global Talent Visa application, or the UK Global Talent visa application, or endorsement application. All right. And we also help review endorsement review process for Global Talent UK. Right. So if you are in the room and you're thinking about the UK, you're thinking about applying for Global Talent, you are on the right session and you're in the right group with good company also. We also have premium services, right? Largely, what we do is largely free. About 85 to 90% of what we do is free. But we do realize that there are unique circumstances. There are people in the room who have tight schedules and who are looking for special attention. right? So we have a premium community, the eMigr8 Circle, where we do personalized coaching session, right? We have standard package that can help you review your application and help you make introduction that will be useful in your journey. And we also have custom service. Now, that is on the eMigr8 Premium package, but remember that you can also work with us for free. We have introductory videos. We have eMigr8 open coaching session. We have specific visa hours for inquiry, for short inquiry, and these are free. We also have a community where we are always answering questions, and it's a very interactive group, right? So you want to be part of the eMigr8 community on WhatsApp, on Telegram, and YouTube. All right. If you're interested, please go to emigratvisa.com/tech visa. Right. We need you to just fill a short form. We want to know who you are, where you are currently on your journey, and what is your vision. Right. This will just help us to connect the right coach with you, and to help to meet you where you will have the most impact rather than just giving you generic information. All right. So that is eMigr8 services, right? We also have eMigr8. Those services cover various packages, right? So we have moved to the UK as a global talent, focuses on the UK, which focuses on Tech Nation endorsement visa. We also have moved to the UK as an innovator founder, focus again is the UK. We have moved to the US as a global talent. The focus for this is the US. All right. So, and we have a lot of resource on our various groups, and we have coaches who have gone through this route. So we're not just going to be giving you head knowledge or reciting or repeating what's already you can Google. We're also going to be giving you experiential knowledge because every coach in our platform has gone through or have gone through the visa process and have been endorsed by these countries that they are speaking to, right? So rest assured that you're not going to be talking to somebody who's just going to read through some sort of document to you, but somebody that understands how to apply for this process, who has applied for this process, who have also been endorsed and be successful applying for this process. So those are the coaches that we have, and they will be able to walk you through your journey. Right. So I spoke about the eMigr8 community. We have the WhatsApp community, Telegram community, Facebook community, LinkedIn community, and YouTube community. So if you are in the chat, I will share the links to join in the community. All I ask of you is to engage when you get in there, right? Ask questions, share information, share like, share, and comment on our pages across social media, right? Be brief and be brilliant with your question because there are a lot of people in the room that wants to get through and want to ask their own questions also. So do where to ask questions. Please don't ask questions that you can simply just Google because you'll be wasting everybody's time. Ask questions that will unpack solutions that you can use right in your journey and can benefit every other person in the room. Right. The last edition we launched was the soft launch of our app, the eMigr8 app. So this is also a new community that you can be part of. So if you go to the app shop, the app store on your device, both Google and Android, you can download our app and register. We have loads of information there, right? Coaching session, you can book a coaching session there. You can ask questions there also. You can get first-hand information, turn on your notifications if there's any new information that we're dropping, any announcement that's coming up, you will get a notification first, right, on the app. So do well to grab your device right now and go to your app store and download the eMigr8 app. Thank you for doing that. We'll meet you in the app. All right. Let me take some time to talk about our partners. Remember, for us, we are trying to make you globally attractive. All we are doing is making sure you're putting your best foot forward, making sure you are the right person that the UK is looking for. You are the right person that the US is looking for, right? That's all we're doing. But we can't do this on our own, all alone. We have different partners and different products that, we work with, right, to make you globally attractive. And those platforms include the Bincom Dev Center, programs like Bincom, Global Tech Program. Now, the Bincom Global Tech Program is very beginner friendly and is also intermediate friendly. What you do here is you learn skill, right? You cannot be globally attractive without a skill. It's the flat bottom line. So you learn skill, you gain experience while you're learning these skills because you're working on real life projects. You gain exposure because again, you're working on real life projects, and that gives you confidence to build more, right? So for a beginner level, well, somebody is just starting out in tech, this is very fantastic. This is a good opportunity. For intermediate level, this is also a fantastic opportunity, to build your skills, especially if you have been self-taught, right? Or you've learned all by yourself to this point. You want to connect with a group. You want to work on big projects. You want to work on real life project and not just dummy project, right? So you want to come to bincom.net /global tech, right? That's where you want to go to and connect with the next cohorts there, and you'll be glad. It's very competitive and very interactive. So you want to come ready. All right. We also have become a tech talent. Now, this is for folks that are already in the UK or you're looking to move to the UK. You're looking for a job in the UK, right? You're looking for how to connect with opportunities in the UK. So we have this offer where we teach you, give you tech training for a stipend, if you ask me, monthly, right? And we'll give you individual tech career coaching session, and we give you an opportunity to connect with companies that offers apprenticeship within the UK, right? We give you references, we connect you to recruiters. Also, there are loads of benefits. Now, if you are not in tech at the moment, we can curate together a pathway to land a tech visa. And this is open for intermediate and advanced level, right? If you are already in tech, you're building already, you already have skill sets, you want to connect with the market in the UK, right? From anywhere in the world, actually, we would give you a pathway to landing a tech role that will give you tech sponsorship or visa sponsorship. Now, if that's you in the room, you want to go to bincom.net /global tech or send a message to the phone number on this slide that you're looking at. Now, this is a 3-month package and is discounted at £1,000, right? It's discounted at £1,000. So you want to rush through and make sure you are registered on the platform, and we can get in touch with you as soon as possible. Some of the visa opportunities around tech in tech ecosystem always ask for skill set like mentorship, right? Have you mentored anyone? Have you given back in terms of mentorship? Do you have mentees? Have you mentored on a particular scale? All right. And that is why we curated what is called the Bincom mentoring platform that gives you an opportunity to mentor a mentee, right? So if you are already a full stack developer and you're looking for an opportunity to be a mentor, right? Or you're already a C-suite leader within, CFO, CEO, COO, right? You're in that executive team and you're looking for an avenue to mentor the young ones, upcoming guys in the industry, right? This is an opportunity to sign up on a mentorship platform. Most tech-enabled visa pathway would check. It's usually one of the optional criteria to see, are you a mentor? Have you thought before? Can you pass knowledge? Basically, right? That's why these platforms do exist or exist for you to be able to pass knowledge across, right? And if you're a mentee in the room, you want to also jump on this platform where we can connect you with mentors, right? What you want to go to is bincom.net /mentor registration, right? That would this short Google form where you would just fill your details, your area of expertise, your domain expertise, and we can connect with you further and connect you with a mentee and vice versa. So please take these opportunities seriously because they will count at some point. All right. We have Last by Bincom. Lab by Bincom is a platform where you can build startup, right? So if you haven't built a startup before, or you are looking to increase your portfolio of startups or products, if you haven't built a product before, you're looking to, expand your portfolio of products, you want to come to Last by Bincom. Again, for the UK Global Talent Visa, they are specific on a product-led digital technology, right? If you are trying to apply for technician, they want to know, have you built a digital product before? What technology did you use? What are the impacts? What impact has that product made? Those are the kind of questions that you can answer if you have built a digital product. And Blast by Bincom offers you a 3 to 6 month program where you work with, seven other cohorts, or nine other cohorts, right, to build a startup or to build a product that solves a specific problem from ideation to scale, right, to go to market, right. This is a fantastic way to improve your product skills. This is a fantastic way also to add to your product portfolio, product that you've worked on, right? And this is also a fantastic way to build your CV, right? If you're looking at it from that angle, right? So Bincom.net/labs, it's a premium space, right? But it is very, very impactful and very useful on your journey. You want to be able to build multiple products, especially in the digital platform. You want to be able to add this to your CV, add this to your portfolio as you go along. All right. And other services from Bincom include the tech career coaching service, right? Tech employment and recruitment service for individual. That's what it is actually, right? If you're looking to land your next role, build relevant experience in your target country, looking at the UK or Canada or even the US, or you want to connect to tech recruiters in this market I've just mentioned, or you're looking for a job with work visa sponsorship. Now, this is a fantastic platform. Again, it's a premium community, but it's useful. It's useful investment for you, right? So Bincom.net/tech career coaching is where you want to go to, right? And we have some partnerships, with tech recruiters that we can do introduction to. We have some information that you can use to land your next role faster, and will help you build relevant experience in an expertise in the country that you are looking at. All right. So do well to take advantage of these opportunities that I've just talked about. Right. We have some of the tech-enabled visa path and routes to settlement and relocation that we have on our platform. I prefer to always use this slide. All right. Some of the visa packages and routes that we speak extensively to, and this by all means is not an exhaustive list, but you want to take a screenshot if you like of this slide, just so that you can go do your own research, right? Available on the slide, right? We talk extensively and help people extensively to land, move to the UK, move to the US, move to Canada, France, Germany, Australia, and others, right? And we look at startup visas, we look at talent visas, we look at work employment-based visa, we look at digital nomad visas, especially for countries across Europe, right? Like Portugal, Spain, who offer digital nomad visa, and other visa opportunities like the French tech visa for investors, right? For the UK, we have the Innovator Founder visa for startup. For talent, we have the Global Talent visa, otherwise known as Technician for the UK, right? And we also have Skilled Workers visa. And these are packages where we have coaches who have gone through this process and can walk you through this process, right? So if you're interested in any of these routes, come talk with us and we can give you information that you can use. But before you come, you want to do your own research. That's why I say you can take a screenshot. Do your own research. There are loads of information about the opportunities about these particular visas online, right? So you want to actually do your own research and come speak to us with questions or where you're having bottlenecks so that we can help, right? Okay. Now, the common denomination across all the packages that I've spoken about and all the visas that are open to you, the common denominator is that they are looking for people that are globally attractive. Now, when you're globally attractive, it means you have skill, skills that can come in and close that they can leverage to close the job gap or shortages in across multiple industries in their economy, right? I mean the host country's economy now, right? Or you can come in with your skill set to create a startup or a product that can employ people in that economy. Now, that again is you contributing to the GDP of that country because you'll be paying taxes or you'll be paying salaries to people who will be paying taxes. So they want you or they need you in a sense, right? So it's a win-win if you are moving, right? So don't ever think about it like, oh, will they give me a visa? Am I qualified? Think about the value that you are offering to this demography or to this economy. So think about that value from that perspective. I'm sure you will see that you are qualified, right? But we're here to make you globally attractive. We're here to help you put your best foot forward. We're here to appraise you on your journey to make sure you have the right information and you're presenting yourself the right way. Now, the visa opportunities that we focus on largely have these benefits, right? They give you pathway to settlement, stable pathway to settlement. And it's very family friendly. You can move with your family. It's beginner friendly. You can start planning from today. Give yourself some time or a roadmap, tick some boxes, and you'll be ready. Before you know, you're ready to migrate, right? And but we focus on only tech-enabled opportunity, right? If you are interested in what I've talked about so far or spoken extensively about so far, come talk to us. If you're on the call till the end of the session, we have a gift for you that you can use right on your journey, right? And please stick to the end, and I would be glad to share that gift with you, right? That you can use on your journey to becoming globally attractive. Now, this is not an exhaustive list, as you can tell. There are many more benefits, but it now depends on the package that you are looking into. All right. All right. We did some research, and last year, what we did was to collate um changes that happened in the visa tech visa landscape for 2023. Now, some of those changes, right, can predict what is going to happen or what is already happening in 2024, right? So that's why we did that research at the time to put it together to further equip you with knowledge as to what was obtainable in the past, what has changed, so that just to make sure you're not working with old information. If you need it, I would be sharing the link on the chat, right? So if you need that report, you can have it and use that as part of your knowledge base to grow your knowledge base of, the economy you're planning to go to or the country you're planning to go to. Right. If you think you don't yet qualify, here is what you should be doing, right? Right. You should be designing a roadmap, a personalized roadmap at the moment. If you're a newbie or you're a beginner or you're even an expert, you should have your own personalized roadmap. We can help you do that, right? That's why we're here. We can help you come up with this roadmap just in case you're wondering what should be on the roadmap, what should I be looking at? We can help you design that roadmap. We can work with you, right, to make sure you are ticking the right boxes, right? That's all it takes. Month one, what should I be doing? Month two or week one, what should I do? Week two, what should I be doing? Should I be on X tweeting or should I be on Medium writing? We want to, teach you, show you, point you in the right direction. You might not need to go and be on X. You might not need to be on Medium. You just need to look for ways to put out value consistently, and you will probably be on your way to becoming globally attractive, right? So today we're talking about Coach Wesley Ireland's journey, all right, my UK Global Talent Visa journey. He's going to share his journey with us and equip us with information that we can use. So if you are currently on the chat, you will have questions, please drop it on the chat and I would make sure I take the question when he's done presenting his session. So the next person that will be coming up will be Coach Wesley. Hi.
Hi, Moody. Thanks very much for the intro.
Thank
Hi,
you.
everyone.
Take it away.
Thanks for having me, and great intro to all the programs. I'm going to give you uh, about 30 minutes of my background, how I got to the Global Talent Visa. Um, yeah, and then you can ask me questions, I guess, at the end. Uh, I started off my tech journey, I guess, not having tech anywhere on my radar. Um, the first thing that I studied when I went to university was neuroscience, which is very academic and not, there was really no tech involved in that, but it was fascinating. Then I realized that all of my friends were engineers and I had never even thought about engineering before. So I dropped out of that school and I restarted my university education at an engineering school in New York. I studied engineering for 4 years um, in shipbuilding and realized that actually the designing of ships was very interesting, but that I was more interested in the operations of shipping and actually uh, transitioned from shipping to waste. And I spent 6 years at a corporate in the U.S. Um, working in the waste industry and figuring out how to move trash and recycling all over North America, which was fascinating. This was not a traditional technology company. It wasn't Google, Facebook. This is an operating company that doesn't necessarily specialize in that kind of stuff. So, fast forward a few years when I ended up applying for the Global Talent Visa. That's an important element. It's like my experience was with a big operating company. How does that translate into a visa meant for technical people? So, I think a lot of the people who I've spoken to about this visa have similar questions. It may not have been an operating company, but maybe it was, could have been anything else other than what we consider to be mainstream tech. Uh, what I did in this operating corporate was first analyses, business analyses to understand, how to improve the business. And then I worked myself up to being a product manager and starting to actually implement new product oriented development processes to the organization within this corporate. Uh, and we built some really, really cool things there. I didn't realize that at the time that would be, really helpful for my application for a visa. I just thought that was a really great thing to work on effectively as a product manager. When the pandemic hit, I realized there was an opportunity for me to um, go after a dream that I'd always had to start a company. And I was either going to work on something social or something environmental. And one of my friends found an accelerator, actually, a brand new venture builder in the UK called Carbon 13. They're based in Cambridge. And I applied for this venture builder. The idea of Carbon 13 is that it's a founder first venture builder specifically focused on the climate. The the cool thing about Carbon 13 is that you don't have to have a company or a team before you join. You apply as a person, um, and then they take 60 or 70 individuals who have varying backgrounds in different industries, uh, different work within those industries. So you've got technical founders, commercial founders, specific sector experts. And then the idea is that you form these teams during the program. So you meet each other. It takes 6 weeks to meet each other, and then you take another 6 weeks to pitch ideas, and then some portion of the 70 people that are accepted receive investments into their teams and into their startups. That was awesome. I had a really good time, and I would have done it. I would do it again even without the investment. But luckily, we did form a team and formed a company and did receive investment from Carbon 13. And the name of the startup was and still is Food Squared. And Food Squared is a company in the UK which makes alternative protein products. We specifically make plant-based shrimp. So if you think about Beyond Burger or something, this is the Beyond Burger for seafood. This is how can we make seafood? How can we make shrimp, which is the world's #1 seafood product in volume, more sustainable? How can we make another option for that? How can we do what Beyond did for the burger and apply it to seafood, which was fascinating. And when I got to the UK, when I got to this venture builder, Carbon 13, I was just focused on getting something off the ground. I was like, wow, it's going to be really hard to, meet a great team. It's going to be hard to start a company. It's going to be hard to make that company successful. Let me just focus on that, because if I can't do that, then the visa it's irrelevant. So I was with, I don't know, there must have been 6, 7, 8, or 9 other international or North American people in my cohort at that venture builder. And, we all kind of had the same conclusion that we're like, all right, well, we'll have to deal with that soon, but let's just see if we're successful first. So I think, that mindset of do it when you have to do it and don't waste time doing something that you don't necessarily have to do yet is probably important. If I had spent a lot of time working at my visa before I even knew if I was going to be able to have a company there in the UK, that could have been a waste of time if we ended up not getting investment. So once I knew that this was going to be a company, then I really worked on it. I will say, I think the Technation Global Talent Visa is the first visa that I looked at, and it was like extremely what's the word? Intimidating. It was like, there's no way that I am going to qualify for this visa. You'd have to be like, as it says, exceptional. I didn't consider myself exceptional in tech. I had just, kind of created my career for myself in something technical, because I thought that was a good thing to do at the time. I certainly wasn't coming from a brand name tech company, and I certainly wasn't an accomplished software engineer. I had taken like maybe 2 programming courses, but I was a product manager. And my knowledge was really, in business and engineering and stuff. I took that Technation visa and I put it aside for a while. And for months, I was looking at other visa paths, other ways that I could do this, because I didn't think it was even worth applying. And, in hindsight, I wasted time and money trying to figure out those other paths. I came back to the Technation visa and, put my head down and really studied the documents, which I think you really have to do. You've got to go onto the Technation website and read through it and try to keep an open mind. I will say my #1 takeaway is, if you're not sure if you can do it, go for it, and make the best of it. If there's an inkling, if there's a bit of hope, I would say go for it. You think you're less qualified than you are. So read the documents and go through it, and then really try to understand who you're going to choose for your letters. The bulk of the Technation visa is getting those endorsements and getting that evidence. The reason why that's the bulk is because, well, first of all, it's by pages. It's the thing that you have the most of. So there's like pages and pages of letters from people. But you also relying on external factors. So you've got to hope that these people actually do it. I have 2 pieces of advice for that. The first is, of course, give them plenty of lead time. So you want to get these requests out and get in touch and keep these contacts warm, like immediately, as soon as possible. And expect people to take months to come back. The other thing that I will also say is help them. Don't just say, hey, I'm looking for an endorsement. Can you write me something? Obviously, you want to help them a lot, like exactly the scenarios you want them to talk about. Give them a bulleted, list of things that you need. Do as much of the letter basically for them as you are comfortable with. And that will really help speed things along. Of course, they're going to write it, write the final document. They're going to sign it and everything, but you're asking someone to do a bunch of work for you. So you need to be respectful of that. On the strategy standpoint, I think that the really big picture here is you want tangible evidence of success, um, or at least this is how I interpreted it. I'm sure there's like different for everyone who applies. There's a different interpretation. My interpretation was you've got to have a really tangible record of achievements, and you've got to have a tangible indicator of success in the future, specifically in the UK. So I guess if I can, probably the most useful thing for you guys is if I just kind of run through the stuff that I submitted and the reasons why I submitted it, without going into too much specifics. The endorsements, which are different from the evidence, my endorsements they were all high level, I would say. So they're all from high level people. They weren't like my direct supervisor. They weren't, a co-founder. They were pretty high level. And they had curb appeal, meaning that they were from, brand name organizations, this kind of thing. I had an endorsement from one of our investors. So like I said, I went to Carbon 13, successful founding a company. We carried on to then be accepted into other accelerators. And I used that for sure in my endorsements. So, a letter from an investor, an executive at an old job, and a business partner from a reputable consulting firm. Those are all things that have kind of like a bit of brand appeal. The evidence for the mandatory stuff, I said, which by the way, the mandatory criteria is recognized as a leading talent. So again, I had a different executive. I had then my immediate supervisor to have basically the high level, perspective, and then somebody who really understood my day-to-day work. And then an external stakeholder, which was basically, an old customer who said, yeah, this is value that was delivered. We really appreciated Wes, working for us, that kind of thing. So that's evidence of delivering something. Then I had, optional criteria 1, which is a track record for innovation. My track record for innovation, I actually used, I think the bulk of it was really more confirmation of investment. So, I had like an endorsement from an investor, and then there were like, various investments that we received. And those things are, they're really tangible, like money talks, I guess, right? So, if somebody invests in your company, then that's like, okay, they really do believe that this person has potential, they're investing. That's, the definition. So I used 2 of those in my optional criteria 1. And then probably something from my previous role, for the third item in optional criteria 1. I'm not sure what it was. For the optional criteria 2, work beyond my field. That was, yeah, and you have to look back. You have to look into your past. You might have to get creative. Like, I had organized a big fundraiser while I was working at that corporate, and we, the marketing team at the company put together a really cool YouTube video of what we had done and how much we had raised. And, I put a link to that video. I was president of a technical society at my engineering school. So I put that in. That kind of stuff, you kind of have to like, you think about how have I contributed to the community in the past, and then put evidence in there. I would say then the personal statement, takes all those endorsements and pieces of evidence, and it talks about them as a story. It's really important to tie the whole thing together as a story. But each thing that you submit, each document that you submit is like a chapter. It is an event. It's an important moment in your story. It is something tangible. It has results, right? You did something, cause and effect. Like you did something, you delivered something, and here's the proof. The personal statement ties it all together. It explains, this is my background. This is why it's important to what I'm doing now. This is why what I'm doing now is innovative. This is why what I'm doing now leverages my previous tech experience, which I just explained to you in the first 3 pieces of evidence or something. And this is why, what I'm doing now in the UK, or what I plan to do in the UK, requires my presence to exist. This is why I have a critical role. And if I'm not here, then this really awesome thing that could flourish in the UK, ceases to exist. So that's kind of the argument and kind of the story that I told. The story, helps somebody understand the whole thing, but probably the real punch comes from the work that you do to prepare the documents. So, the evidence and the endorsements. Every single document, I guess there were like 10 of them or something that I submitted, had half a page context of what this organization is. It had a photo from the person that wrote the letter. It had their LinkedIn profile. It had the relationship that I had with them. It had the time frame that I was related to, that I worked with them. It had context. So why am I submitting this? What role does that have in my overall story? Like you want to make this really easy. And some of the advice that I got was, if you want to make it easy for the person who reads it to believe that this is all true. Some of the advice that I got was like, you are it's almost like online dating. You meet somebody online, or like trying to buy and sell stuff on an online marketplace. Like you meet somebody online, and you have to trust that what they're telling you is real. You have to trust that they're a real person. You have to trust that the stuff that they're selling, whatever it may be, is real. You have to trust that you're going to receive it when you pay. And so you don't want to let anything, like, you don't want to let people assume anything. You really want to make it as convincing as possible. And the way I did that was like heavy duty context, pictures of these people, their title, what they do there. I actually went onto everyone's LinkedIn and I took like the key points from their history and I typed it out into the context as bullet points directly into the page, in front of their letter as one PDF. I think that that's really important, because then they're reading the letter from this person. And they're like, no, this person's not fake. This person's very real. Here's their LinkedIn. I can Google them. Like, yeah, that all checks out. I think that's really important. So yeah, takeaways. If you're not sure, go for it. Don't be intimidated, I guess. Read the instructions, go through, print out that technician document, and really pay attention to it, and find the opportunities in that document. Of course, play by the rules, but find the opportunities. What aspects of that document can you be good at, and how can you capitalize on your own strengths? Give people plenty of lead time, and help them write the letters. Don't just leave it up to them to have to like think about it. Just leave it up to them to execute. Put a lot of really concise and clear context in for every single document that you submit. Photos, links to their profile, LinkedIn's, write out their bio, explain the relationship, explain the time frame, and then tell your story in the personal statement that weaves together all these tangible events and makes it all come together, arguing that you are a necessary part of the UK economy, and this is why other people already believe in you. And I think if you do most of that, for me, that's what worked for me. That's all I can really say. I did reach out to, I think I emailed somebody at Technation at one point, and they put me in touch with an ambassador. And I spoke to an ambassador at Technation, who gave me, 20 minutes of their time, which is super helpful, kind of reviewed my strategy, and we made some adjustments. I think that person was the one who told me, you really need to make this context clear, so that people know that you're telling the truth.
All right, fantastic. So that's a very detailed one. It sounds like you were not just jumping into the question Q&A session. It sounds like you were not sure, right, for a while. But at what point did you say, let me just give it a try? What convinced you?
I had originally been going for so I first looked at the global talent, put it aside, and then one of the other ones that I investigated and pursued was, don't remember the name, but it's a visa that is tied to a company that you want to bring into the UK. And I had misunderstood.
Type of visa.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the
That's
start
the
of
one.
visa. Yeah.
That's, and I was under the impression that that was going to be correct for me. It was not. And I found out in, I think, the final interview that that was not the correct visa. And then I actually think that one of the assessors was like, you should really, go back and check the global talent visa. And then I gave it a little more thought. And the other thing that happened that was really useful, I will say, when I first went to Carbon 13 was brand new and it was not affiliated yet with Tech Nation. And then while I was in the program, they received kind of their endorsement, I guess. I'm not sure how it works, but they then became part of the fast track list of incubators in the Tech Nation program. And so, I was encouraged by that, and I knew personally the people who were working on putting that relationship together, and it made total sense to then apply once I was part of the whole ecosystem.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So we have some questions in the chat that I would just go through, right? I think one of them. So I'm in the business side, I think, of tech. I used to work for American MNS, MNCS, and I'm pronouncing that wrong, with roles as sales before moving to tech. As tech founder now and back. Oh, okay, multinational company. Thank you for correcting me. I used to work in an American multinational company with the role as sales, before moving to tech as tech founder now, and back then got a lot of recognition and impact and contribution and huge stage numbers, 5 million USD. Should I include that bit as well in my application, or will it be relevant? Or should I just focus on tech only? So this person has a lot of successes selling as in sales before moving to tech. And they're asking, you know, with that level of success, should I include that in my Tech Nation application? Do you want to speak to that? Yeah.
I can give my opinion, but I mean, let's just be clear that the only insight that I have into this process is the fact that I know what I put together in my application, and I know that my application was successful. So I'm certainly not advising from the committee here. I think my instinct though tells me, like, I guess I put a couple hundred hours into this application, and I went through some of those same decisions. I
Mhm.
think if you have something tangible that was really successful and you're proud of it and you can speak to it and it shows a track record of success, that's ultimately what matters. So yeah, I mean, if you feel strongly about it, then I would probably put it in. I don't know what the rest of your evidence looks like, but sounds impressive. And it's technical related. People who, yeah, especially because it's business related, like you need to be able to do both. So I'm not sure. There's something about a business track and a technical track, I think.
Yeah.
But right, yeah. So I use both business. Yeah, it's a great point. I use both business anecdotes and technical anecdotes, and I think that that tells a strong story. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic. Good one. I have a question here. That says, how did the emigrate community help in your journey?
Well, I spoke to one of you guys actually. I didn't. I don't know if I even knew about eMigr8 specifically at the time, but you guys were affiliated with Tech Nation, and I was introduced to you through Tech Nation, and those conversations were very helpful. So, one way or another, I think the guys on the team are great.
All right. All right. Fantastic. All right. So you applied as a tech, um, you applied as a product manager when you finally put in your application through, right? Or as a founder, because it sounds like you've gone through Carbon 13 and joined a founding team for a startup. What category did you apply through? Is it as a founder or as a product manager when you finally did apply?
Ooh, I don't remember. I probably called myself a probably called myself a founder because when I was applying, a lot of the evidence that I was using was for the current startup. So that's I don't really actually remember the distinction between the two. I will say that the way I struck like my CV, my resume was all about being a strong product manager, and I had all the evidence of success, in my resume, and I had a couple of evidence documents about that.
Yeah.
Being a product manager. But then, the other half of my evidence was why I was going to be a successful founder. And that was coming from the accelerators and investors. So I don't actually know the answer to that question, but I think I incorporated both.
Okay. So fantastic. I like the way you have placed it. So you were projecting yourself with strong technical product skills, but also projecting yourself this is what I will come to the UK to do, right? And so that I think that's very important takeaway for guys in the chat to grab. You have to show, what you are coming to do, not just, appealing to get the endorsement, but when you do get the endorsement, what are you going to do with it? Right. So how was moving to the UK for you?
Wow. My experience was my experience was really curated, I guess, because like you just said, I was moving for this program. So I showed up in the UK on like a Saturday afternoon, and this program started on a Monday. And I lived in like a hostel for 6 weeks or something in Cambridge. Um, it was an amazing experience, and Cambridge is a great town to land in for sure.
Mhm.
Uh, I immediately also had an entire network of people around me, which I think, on a really human level, just community is, for me, it's one of the most important things in life. But especially when you're moving to a new location, having, making friends and having community and having purpose and all this stuff.
Mm.
Um, it's hard to do, and it's also probably the most important thing to do. So my experience moving to the UK was not really just about moving to the UK, and I think that's important for the visa as well. It was about moving to accomplish this thing and having a mission and having a network of people around me to do it with. So yeah, it was a very positive experience. I ended up meeting my significant other in the UK and my girlfriend, and
Oh, nice. You had a great time.
I had a very good time in the UK. I'm currently back in California, working on a new startup. But yeah, my experience there was superb.
All right. Fantastic. So we have a question here from a student in the UK. Right. Let's see if we can help. I'm a student in the UK at the moment. I have experience in Nigeria as a product designer, UI UX design, say 2021. Right. But I was into graphics design since 2017. What would you advise me do? My course in the UK right now is in construction though. So I'm guessing you want to apply for technician, right? And that's why you're on the call. Um, we don't have enough information to advise because you just said you've been a product designer for since 2021. Yes, as a technician is divided into two categories, the technical side and the business side. So you can apply as a product designer, but you have to be able to prove that you have done some significant work as a product designer and the impact of that work that you have done, right? So I don't know if Wesley has anything to add to what I just said.
No, I mean, the question is, should we go technical or business?
Right, I was trying to cure that, but his business is not in the technical part.
Okay, it's
So product
business.
design is in a business field, graphics is in a business field, right? So I'm guessing he's asking for advice. Should he attempt technician or not? Right.
Oh, oh, yeah. Well, look, the way I would make that, I can't make the decision, but the way I would go about making it is, um, do you feel confident about your success in the past? Do you feel, do you have clarity about what you're planning to do in the UK because that's important too, right? You've got to have the vision for what you're going to do. And is your business story innovative or technical enough? Like tech is such a broad term, and I found myself in my application looking for, if you got 100 different things that you've accomplished in the past 5 years, then, I guess maybe 20 of them, like look for the 20 of them that tell a technical story, if that's what you're trying to do. I don't know if that's useful or not, but yeah, you really have to like ask yourself, can I tell a compelling story about my past, by means of technical accomplishments? I think that's probably what I did.
Okay. There's a question for you. As an American settling in the UK, would it be super easy? So I don't know. So Wesley settled in the UK for a brief moment. And how long were you in the UK for, Wesley?
About 2.5 years.
Okay. All right, go for it. Apply for technician. I'm just reading through. I don't think there's a question there. All right. All right. So we have about 15 minutes to go. So if you have questions, we can't hold Wesley for too long, right? As you can tell. So please drop those questions in the chats. Right. Okay. All right. I would apply as business side as throughout my career I do sales, but when I found my own tech company, I was doing multiple roles, both product manager, a bit technical as well. Should I share that bit of product manager role experience as well, or just stick with sales and business development? Uh, that's the question. So this person had done sales before, then founded her own tech company. Now where she's multitasking, being a product manager, which is a bit technical to some extent, and they're asking, should she include product management bits or just apply as let me get that, or just stick to sales and business development, which she has done all her career.
Okay, my take on this is two things. First, consider what you're. I start at the end and work back. So what I did was I set up a vision for what I thought my experience in the UK was going to be based on the success of the startup. Um, I set up that vision for what that was going to be, and then I worked backwards and said, these are the things that I've done in my past that are going to make that happen. So, think about what that vision is, think about what you need in order to get there, and just choose the items that support the argument. If the product manager stuff fits with your future vision, then definitely include it. You founded a company, that's an accomplishment. Include that. That shows, leadership, and it shows a lot of what I think they're looking for. So it's all innovative, right? I
Yeah.
would I would include it, but it's all about the story that you want to tell, and telling something cohesive.
All right, fantastic. Currently in the UK, working with a gaming company as a cloud platform engineer. I have been doing DevOps engineering since 2021, currently dependent on my spouse student visa. What route would you advise do go through? I came in 2023, September. So again, we're talking about technician today, right? And that's what we can speak to for today's edition. But there are different routes that you can go through. There's skilled worker route, there's technician. You're a cloud engineer already, so you can leverage that. Wesley has spoken extensively about his own journey. And I like the last thing he said, what's your vision of remaining in the UK, and walk backward. What qualifies you to build whatever that vision is in the UK? And that if you have a solid story enough, then you can go for technician, right? And if you're confident about it. All right. And also don't forget that this is not an immigration advice, nor legal advice. You know, Wesley's just sharing his journey, what he did, and what worked for him. All right. And also using that to advise you on what you can do also. All right. So fantastic. All right. So Wesley, we have a set of people in the chat who are beginners, right? They are just getting into tech, um, maybe product management, maybe front-end designers or back-end designers. They are new in tech and they're looking at themselves and even intermediate guys that are wondering, how do I qualify, for this opportunity? At what point do I know if I'm qualified or how do I qualify for global talent? Do you have an advice for that category of people in the chat at the moment?
That's tough. I it's so individual. And beginner is so subjective. I consider myself a beginner. It's the same answer I had before. It's really about, do you have a compelling vision for what you want to do in the UK? Is it innovative? Does it have a technical perspective? And do you have a compelling story to support that vision? I think if there's something that you want to do, that you don't have good evidence to support to convince people that you can do it, then make decisions now to go get that evidence. Choose a role, start something, whatever it may be, to go fill those gaps. But I would just caution anyone and say, at least from my perspective, psychologically, it's easy to say, I've got too many gaps. I need to go back and do X, Y, and Z things to fill those gaps. Maybe, but often we are our own, greatest critics. And maybe try putting together your best effort story. Maybe get some advice from friends or a coach. Maybe even submit it, and give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes we have to let other people say no, right? Sometimes it's not your job to tell yourself that you're not ready. Sometimes you have to go for it. So it's impossible for me to say, what to do in that case. But I would be wary of not giving yourself the benefit of the doubt.
All right. Fantastic. And there's something you spoke about when you moved to the UK. You spoke about community being very important. All right. And so talk to us about some of the benefits you got being in a community, right, in the UK.
Oh, it was the entire experience. There were a couple of other groups that I joined, tech groups. The alumni platform at Tech Nation is also really, really cool. There's a lot of participation in there. There's lots of channels. I haven't logged into it in a while, so I don't know how active it is currently. Sorry, still very active. Great. So yeah, that was something that I was, told would be with me for forever. So, and I think everyone who's gone through the process all likes to share and help. And there's different stages of it, when you want to get citizenship and et cetera, et cetera. I had lots of communities, tech-minded communities around me when I went there, and I think that's why I had such a positive experience. I think anything you can do to set yourself up with a good community, it's always the way to go. I think that comes first.
All right. Fantastic. So I'm just going to do a bit of housekeeping. So someone asks here, I'll take this one. I'm an electrical engineer and I want to venture fully into IT. Can I have the assistant to start? Can I have an assistant for startup to migrate to the UK? So I need more context here to this question. If you're an electrical engineer at the moment and you want to venture into IT, the question I'll ask is, why are you venturing into IT? Is there a problem you're trying to solve? Do you have a vision for yourself, right? And if you have defined those, you've ticked the box, you're ready to go, then we have a community in eMigr8 that can help you, put your best foot forward. In terms of having a startup, right? You want assistance to set up a startup. We have Lab by Bincom. Basically, what we do there is to help people build a startup, basically. So you want to leverage Lab by Bincom. And our community is free. So we have a free community. I shared the link to join, right? So you can join our community. It's free. 85% of what we do is free at eMigr8. We just give information and help people dot the I's and cross their T's as they progress on their journey, right? So this is not immigration advice. This is not legal advice. It's just us sharing our journey with you, and hopefully we can inspire you to move in the right direction. All right. Yes, we have the premium community specifically for those people that are pressed with time and they need special assistance. So it just depends on the uniqueness of your circumstance. Anybody can apply for technician themselves, but if you need somebody to help you proofread and make sure you are putting the right documents together, then you want to go look through our premium community, right? So that's just the difference. It's just the difference. So all right. And I'm going to try this. So I have one question here. Hi, I'm a software engineer and developed and co-founded a COVID-19 impact project while I was studying my MSc program. This project had a significant impact as my team got many awards and grants for it. The project also got traction up to 14 million in Naira. I also mm, I also have about 4 years experience working in tech startup companies where I serve as DevOps and server admin and team lead for a small 6-month team. I feel like I don't yet have enough skill and experience. What would you advise? All right. I will allow Wesley take a look at this and tell you what he thinks.
A lot of info in that background. Thanks for sharing. I think, from what I heard, I'm kind of making it because, we haven't looked at your background on paper, but it sounds to me like you've got a lot of experience that's really valuable. And, you know, I'll just step back for a second and say there have been a number of moments uh, in my short career. I've only been working full time, I guess, for less than a decade, but um, where I feel like I haven't really accomplished much. I haven't, I haven't achieved whatever the vision for myself is that I had in 5 years ago, or I feel like I'm, stagnating or something. A lot of this is about framing. It's about actually believing in yourself and going back to the things that you've accomplished. One technique that I have found is really helpful for me is just write all the things. Just don't worry about formatting. You're just writing a really rough CV. Just write down all the things that you've done. Like you just done it right here in this chat. Write it all out. Start high level and then fill in the sub bullets and just write out all these accomplishments. And and then ask somebody else. Talk to whoever you're close with. A couple of things that stood out. That I've done with it. Like, what are you proud of about me? And I think you're going to be really surprised, like how many cool things that you've accomplished. And if you don't think it's cool, talk to somebody else who does think it's cool and have them convince you that it's cool. Because that is probably the bulk of the work, is understanding why what you've done is important and being able to tell your own story. So is it a psychological gap or is it a really tangible gap? If you've told the story as best as you can and it's not working, then maybe there's more to be done. But both of those things have to work together. It's both the narrative and the hard facts.
Yeah, and I would just say you have from the story you've told already, as a founder, as an got a lot of recognition, awards, got grants. Right. It's an amazing story you started telling already. You have traction of this 14 million in Naira. I think you have what it takes to apply. You might just want to look at the psychological part and say, what's stopping me from taking that bold step, right? But there's leadership in here. COVID-19 impact project. Obviously, I'm thinking there's an innovative part to that project for you to get a grant, right? And somebody recognized the solution and gave you guys a grant. That's a lot, right? So you want to, like Wesley said, is about the framing. You want to write a compelling story, just the way you've written it here. Just expand on it, and you'll be shocked. Yeah. Wesley, give us 10 minutes of your time. I know we're gradually posting to the end gradually. So I have a follow-up question. Said my tech product is actually serving the purpose of sustainability and dogs lover. We are online marketplace for dog lovers community and with sustainable products. It's born out of my passion and love for dogs, animal, and planet. Should I skew more to tech instead rather than focus too much on this passion? So tech products we develop actually serving this purpose. I'm just trying to catch up more information, but I would love tech as well and also have AI product beside as I co-founded. So there's a lot of information you've dropped here. Um, I think if you're looking at technician, as the word says, technician, you want to focus more on tech. Right? You have a platform for dog lovers, and sustainability. You want to highlight more in terms of the innovation around that platform. Your leadership, recognition awards, things that you have gotten in respect to that. And also please highlight as much as you can, speak to the tech and the innovative side of the tech solution that you have, because it's a tech visa that you're applying for, right? So keep that in mind. I don't know if Wesley has anything to add to that.
I think it's well said.
Okay. All right, and if you want more in terms of information, we can have a one-on-one coaching session with a coach at eMigr8, and we can help crystallize that, um, make it more clearer, what your application should be and what you should be looking to put out there for your application. All right. So I have time for just one more question. If you're the lucky person, please drop it in the chat, and I'm just going to ask Wesley, and there's a lot of argument, and this is just an aside. There's a lot of argument between the UK tech ecosystem and the US tech ecosystem, right? You tend to have experience in both, right? Which do you prefer, and which is more saner?
Which is more
Sane to you? Which do you prefer? The UK or the US?
um interesting question. Yeah, I think it's unfortunately it's really all about context. I wish there was an easy answer to that. Fact of the matter is, I'm currently bootstrapping a new startup right now. I'm working from my home. It's a very different experience than when I was starting Food Squared in the UK, working in an incubator in a brand new country, out of like Cambridge and WeWork and stuff like that, where I had 100 people around me all the time. I don't know if it's really about the US or the UK. I mean, obviously there's more capital in the US, there's a bigger market in the US. That's obvious. But the experience that you have, if you're trying to start a company, it probably just comes down to, where do you have a better network? Where do you have more support? Where do you have more access to these things? Where is your market? So I don't know. It's kind of a personal thing.
Yeah.
It kind of depends on what, yeah, it's all contextual.
All right. We like to think the London tech ecosystem is more vibrant.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that some of the things that I had, some of the access that I had to capabilities in the UK were phenomenal. I have no, and I don't know where I would have gotten them in the States. Really, really cool labs that we worked with. Excellent, like a lot of support for startups and incubators, both in London and Cambridge. Um, I mean, I was surrounded by hundreds of startups all the time in the UK and in Europe, and that was huge. I mean, my community was intrinsic in my journey, and there were lots of advisors. We must have had 50 advisors, and I have none of that here. So, in the US. So yeah, I mean, I'm effusive about my experience starting a company in the UK, and if and I think all those things are extremely valuable, and they're there. They're definitely there.
All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and your time and your journey with us today. We have we have a thing where we try to come back to coaches to ask questions and also try to bring you back in the near future to talk about your progress and also to inspire people, maybe in the US market this time around and stuff that you're doing. Right. So thank you very much. We'll be knocking at your door once more in the near future. But before you go, please tell us a bit about your startup, what you're doing at the moment, where we can find you and where we can find, if you're looking for A/B testers or testers for your products, if you have a sandbox that's out there that's open source that people can go in and check it out, it will be good to let us know.
Sure. Yeah. So I told you about Food Squared.
Yeah.
Food Squared is food technology for seafood, plant-based seafood. My latest startup is called Bravo Bin. It's bravobin.com. You will see a coming soon landing page because we incorporated like 2 weeks ago. So it really is brand new. I said earlier that my experience was in the waste industry. This startup is specifically for the waste industry. What we do is we help waste haulers, waste service companies that would collect trash and recycling from residents. We help them communicate more effectively with their customers, with residents. It is an AI smart communications type of platform, but it is specializing in behavior change. So one of the most frequent problems that waste service providers have, garbage companies, refuse companies, is that they'll offer a recycling service, but people put all kinds of trash and stuff in the recycling bin. You've seen this if you have a recycling bin at your house or when you go to the airport and there's like a recycling bin next to a trash bin, you don't know what to do, and everything just goes into the same thing. We are able to see exactly how good of a job or bad of a job everyone is doing. And then we can send personalized behavioral messages to help get more of the trash out of the recycling so that these waste haulers have a clean, recyclable material to process that will produce more yield and help reduce the cost of recycling in the future.
All right. Fantastic. That sounds good. That
So
sounds
we,
good.
yeah,
There's a lot of use case in the UK because we're always struggling to know, where does the can go? Where does the food waste go? All right. So thank you. Thank you for betting that. I hope real soon we'll log on to bravobane.com and we can get more information. And how can we reach you? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on X?
I'm on LinkedIn. You can certainly connect with me there.
Okay.
That's probably the best. If you have, I also have WhatsApp. Well, yeah, I mean, connect with me on LinkedIn. And if there's something that you have an extra question about, I'm happy to respond there. And if we want to connect on WhatsApp, then we can do that.
Right. Fantastic.
All right.
So it's Wesley Ireland on LinkedIn, right? So,
I'll put it in the chat.
all right. Thank you. Thank you.
Give me a second. I'll get you the link. I am. Here it comes. Chat. Chat. There it is.
All right. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your time with us today. We would let you go now and come back to you in the near future and see where you're at and see what we can do together as a community. You spoke extensively about community, and that is what I'm going to be sharing in the next 5 minutes. But thank you very much, and do have a good day. All
Thanks,
right.
Rudy. Thanks, everyone.
All
Good
right.
luck.
Thank you. All right, people. So I spoke about having a gift. If you stay to the end, if you stay to the end, I started having a gift. So the gift I have for you, it's a 10 minutes free consultational time with any of the coaches at eMigr8. 10-minute free consultational time with the coach at eMigr8, right? And to qualify or to redeem that gift, right, not qualify now. To redeem that gift, please go there. I dropped some link to our communities. Click on any of those links, join the community, and all you need to say is I was part of the July edition of the eMigr8 Open Day, and the admin in that community is going to schedule you to speak to a coach. Now, what I ask is that it's a 10 minutes, so you want to ask questions that you can that we can unpack, things that you cannot Google, basically. So questions that we can unpack in 10 minutes. So don't come and say, where do I find technician website? It's easy. You can just Google technician.io and you find the guideline or what is written in the technician guideline, right? It's easy. It's 10 minutes. You want to be brief and brilliant with that time. So there you go. 10 minutes of free consultation, right? Use it, and join the community, and we will be there to connect with you. All right. If you also want people to connect with you in the chat, please also you know, put your LinkedIn profile on it on or connect profile on the chat, and we can connect with you. We're trying to build a network and a community of like-minded individuals in eMigr8's ecosystem. All right. Give me a minute. All right. So this is our community. We have a community on WhatsApp. We have a community on Telegram. I shared the link to this community in the group in the chat. So if you scroll up, you'll find the link to join and to redeem the prize I just gave out. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. We have our apps. If you go to the App Store, and there is also a gift in the App Store for those of you that use the app for straight 7 days, right? You are eligible for a gift, and that gift is going to be communicated to you via the app also. So once you download the app, use it for the next 7 days, right? You stand to win a gift. So remember, we do a lot of freebies, we do a lot of free stuff at eMigr8, right? So you want to take the opportunity, right? You want to take the opportunity to get free time to talk to coaches. You want to take the opportunity to get more information and to speak to any of our coaches regarding your journey or the pathway that you're looking at. We have several pathways. We have several packages that you can leverage on in the community. And you can reach us via the app. You can reach us via our website, and you can also reach us via the phone numbers via chat. So for the app, like I said, if by achieving a 7-day streak on the eMigr8 app, you can earn a free coaching session, right? So 7-day streak, it means you log on to the app, for the next 7 days, every day for 7 days, or for a week, you use the app for a week, you get a free coaching session, right? We also, again, eMigr8 with an 8visa.com is the website you want to use. I talked extensively about our partners and our services that we render. So you want to leverage on them. We talked about last by income for those of us that don't have a startup experience, or those that want to improve their portfolio, that want to build more startup products or more products. You want to leverage on the lab by income. we also talked about extensively about the different packages and the countries that these packages are associated with, right? And you want to, have a clear vision, like Wesley said, have a vision. Where is your vision taking you to? Is it taking you to the US? Is it taking you to Canada? Then work backward. What do I need to be doing now to get to this point? And that's why we're here. We can help you build a tailored made roadmap specifically for you, specifically to cater to your uniqueness, to cater for your vision, right? If you want to go to France, you want to go to Germany, you want to go to Hong Kong, you have a startup and you want to move to Canada with a startup, for example, we have coaches, we have in coaches in the house that can help you on that journey, right? Ultimately, we're trying to make it globally attractive. Ultimately, we want to make sure you qualify for your dream, you qualify for that visa, you qualify for that employment opportunity, or you are able to move your startup to that new demographic you want to go to. If you still need some help, please send a WhatsApp message to the number on this slide that you're looking at the moment. We'll have coaches at the end of that message, at the end of the phone, to guide you through, all right, to give you information that you can use. Remember, we are not giving legal advice. We are not immigration expert. We just give you information that you can use on your journey. So thank you very much, everyone. So the number is on the screen at the moment, right? Just the numbers, you can send WhatsApp messages to the number you can see on the slide at the moment. All right. At the moment. Thank you everyone for being part of the July Open Day, eMigr8 Open Day. This has been fantastic. I hope we have shared more information. I hope we got inspiration from Wesley's journey. He shared a lot about framing, telling the right story, about joining a community, being a part of a community, right, and having a vision and working backward, all right, from the finish line of your vision to working back to the beginning, and filling the gaps, ticking the boxes along the way to make sure you are globally attractive. I thought it was thorough. It was a fantastic session. I learned a lot from the session. And please also check out Wesley Island startup, borovin.com. Check it out. Also connect with him on LinkedIn, give him feedback as regards to this session, what you gain from it, and give him feedback as to what you think about his startup, right? So that is why we exist. That's why we have this community to support one another. All right. Thank you very much till the month of August. Please join the community and we'll keep the conversation going in the community. I mean, the eMigr8 community.